sent them to me, which I am very, very grateful for. The best gift you could ever get me is sending me some new facts or trivia questions, and I will love you forever because I love to not have to do the work. So yeah, these are 100 great random facts from a viewer, and they do have like explanations for them, so should be fun, should be a little bit of everything. I'm excited about it. I have not even read these, like I have not been through them, so if anything's inaccurate, I hope it's not, but I didn't write them. I trust my viewer that they're correct. So yeah, but I hope you enjoy these facts. So sit back and relax and let's get started. Fact number 1. Human beings can use only a small fraction of Earth's water. In school, we were taught that most, specifically 71% of the planet's surface, is covered in water. While that's true, humans can use only 0.007% of that water. That's because only about 2.5% of Earth's water is fresh water, and only 1% of that is accessible. The rest makes up glaciers and snowfields. Number 2. There's enough gold inside Earth to coat the planet. Turns out there's quite a bit of gold on, or really in, our planet. 99% of the precious metal can be found in the Earth's core. Enough to coat the entire surface of the Earth in 1.5 feet of gold. Number 3. The world's oldest wooden wheel has been around for more than 5,000 years. It was found in 2002, approximately 12 miles south of Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, and is now housed in the city's museum. Radiocarbon dating was used to determine the wheel's age, which is somewhere between 5,100 and 5,300 years old. Number 4. Dead skin cells are a main ingredient in household Number 8. There are parts of Africa in all 4 hemispheres. For people whose education was largely focused on the Western world, it may be surprising to find out exactly how huge the continent of Africa is. For instance, it spans all 4 hemispheres and covers nearly 12 million square miles. Number 9. The cornea is one of only 2 parts of the human body without blood vessels. The cornea is the clear part of the eye that covers the pupil and other parts of the eye. Cartilage and the cornea are the only 2 types of tissue in the human body that do not contain blood vessels. Number 10. The world's first animated feature film was made in Argentina. Even if you know a lot of Disney trivia, you might assume that the honor of first animated feature film belongs to Walt Disney's movie Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. But 20 years earlier, a full-length animated feature film was made in Argentina. It was a political satire called El Apostol, made up of 58,000 drawings, and had a running time of 70 minutes. Fact number 11. German chocolate cake was invented in Texas. The German part of German chocolate cake comes from an American man, not a European country. Specifically, it's named after Sam German, who in 1852 created the formula for a mild, dark baking chocolate bar for Baker's Chocolate Company, which was subsequently named Baker's German's Sweet Chocolate. Fast forward to June 13th, 1957. The Dallas Morning Star published the recipe for the cake, invented and submitted by a reader identified as Mrs. George Clay, according to What's Cooking America. Okay. Number 12. The Philippines consists of 7,641 islands. The Philippines is an archipelago, which means it's made up of a group of islands, 7,641 to be exact. That figure does not include the thousands of sandbars and other landforms that emerge during low tide. Number 13. A one-way trip on the Trans-Siberian Railway involves crossing 3,900 Number 16. People once ate arsenic to improve their skin. You've probably heard about how a lot of the Victorians' favorite cosmetics were riddled with arsenic, but it gets worse. There were also products on the market in the late 19th century, like Dr. James P. Campbell's Safe Arsenic Complexion Wafers that were meant to be eaten. They claimed to get rid of freckles, blackheads, and other disfigurements. Number 17. The first person processed at Ellis Island was a 15-year-old girl from Ireland. On January 1st, 1892, Annie Moore was the first passenger to disembark at Ellis Island on its opening day. She had traveled to the United States with her two younger brothers aboard the SS Nevada after departing from Queenstown, Ireland. The busiest day at Ellis Island was April 17th, 1907. Fact number 18. Japan has one vending machine for every 40 people. Japan is thought to have one of the highest densities of vending machines in the world, with one for every 40 people in the country. While most sell various types of beverages, others feature ice cream, noodles, and disposable cameras. Number 19. Professional athletes used to perform in vaudeville during the off-season. Before today's big league salaries, professional baseball and football players often had to take jobs during the off-season. Some of them took advantage of their name recognition and hit the vaudeville circuits, doing everything from comedy routines to reciting poems. Babe Ruth even sang. Frankly, many of the athletes had no business being on stage. Number 20. The first time the word period was used on TV in reference to menstruation was 1985. It came via a line in a Tampax commercial. Feeling cleaner is more comfortable. It can actually change the way you feel about your period. And the actor who made pop culture history was Courtney Cox of Friends fame. That's cool. Number 21. McDonald's once made bubblegum flavored broccoli. This crazy McDonald's fact will have your taste buds crawling. Unsurprisingly, the attempt to get kids to eat healthier didn't go over well with the child testers. Number 22. Some fungi create zombies, then control their minds. The tropical fungus Ophiocordyceps infects ants' central nervous systems. Once it has been in an insect's body for 9 days, it has complete control over the host's movements. According to National Geographic, it forces the ant to climb trees, then convulse and fall into the cool, moist soil below, where fungi thrive. Once there, the fungus waits until exactly solar noon to force the ant to bite a leaf and wait for death. What? Oh my god. Number 23. The first oranges weren't orange. The original oranges from Southeast Asia were a tangerine pomelo hybrid, and they were actually green. In fact, oranges in warmer regions such as Vietnam and Thailand still stay green through maturity. tests phone durability with a butt-shaped robot. People stash their phones in their back pockets all the time, which is why Samsung created a robot shaped like a butt to sit on their phones to make sure they can take the pressure. Believe it or not, the robot even wears jeans. Fact number 27. The Windy City nickname has nothing to do with Chicago's weather. If you live in Chicago, you might already know this random fact, but we're betting most other people don't. Chicago's nickname was coined by 19th century journalists who were referring to the fact that its residents were windbags and full of hot air. Number 28. Peanuts aren't technically nuts. They're legumes. According to Merriam-Webster, a nut is only a nut if it's a hard-shelled dry fruit or seed with a spreadable rind or shell and interior kernel. That means walnuts, almonds, cashews, and pistachios aren't nuts either. They're seeds. Then what is a nut? Number 29. Armadillo shells are bulletproof. In fact, one Texas man was hospitalized when a bullet he shot at the armadillo ricocheted off and hit him in the jaw. Number 30. Firefighters use wetting agents to make water wetter. Say that 5 times fast. The chemicals reduce the surface tension of plain water so it's easier to spread and better soaks just try to wrap your brain around the second part of this animal fact. Those 450,000 calories are more than 240 times the energy the whale uses to scoop those krill into its mouth. Wow. Number 36. That tiny pocket in jeans was designed to store pocket watches. The original jeans had only 4 pockets. That tiny pocket plus 2 more on the front and just 1 in the back. Number 37. Turkeys can blush. When turkeys are scared or excited, like when the males see a female they're interested in, the pale skin on their head and neck turns bright red, blue, or white. The flap of skin over their beaks, called a snood, also reddens. Question, not question, fact number 38. Most Disney characters wear gloves to keep animation simple. Walt Disney might have been the first to put gloves on his characters, as seen in 1929's The Opry House, starring Mickey Mouse. In addition to being easier to animate, there's another reason for the gloves. We didn't want him to have mouse hands because he was supposed to be more human, Disney told his biographer in 1957. Number 39. The man with the world's deepest voice can make sounds humans can't hear. The man, Tim Storms, can't even hear the note, which is 8 octaves below the lowest G on a piano, but elephants can. That's crazy. Number 40. The current American flag was designed by a high school student. It started as a school project for Bob Heft's junior year history class in 1958, and it only earned a B-. His design had 50 stars, even though Alaska and Hawaii weren't states yet. Heft figured the two would earn statehood soon and showed the government his design. After President Dwight D. Eisenhower called to say the design was approved, Heft's teacher changed his grade to an A. That's great. Number 41. Cows don't have upper front teeth. They do have molars on top in the back of their mouths, but where you'd expect upper incisors, cows, sheep, and goats have a thick layer of tissue called a dental pad. They use that with their bottom teeth to pull out grass. Number 42. Thanks to 3D printing, NASA can basically email tools to astronauts. Getting new equipment to the space station used to take months or years, but the new technology means the tools are ready within minutes. Number 43. Only a quarter of the Sahara Desert is sandy. Most of it is covered in gravel, though it also contains mountains and oases. And here's another geography fact that everyone gets years ago, but NASA findings have suggested that there might still have been active lava flow 100 million years ago, when dinosaurs were still roaming. Fact number 46. Dogs sniff good smells with their left nostril. Dogs normally start sniffing with their right nostril, then keep it there if the smell could signal danger, but they'll shift to the left side for something pleasant, like food or a mating partner. Number 47. Avocados were named after reproductive organs. You'll never look at avocados the same way again. Indigenous people of Mexico and Central America used the word ajucatal to mean both testicles and avocado. The fruits were originally marketed as alligator pears in the United States until the current name stuck. Testicles. Great. Number 48. T.S. Eliot wore green makeup. No one is sure why the poet dusted his face with green powder, though some guess he was just trying to look more interesting. Number 49. The word fizzle started as a type of fart. In the 1400s, it meant to break wind quietly, according to the English Oxford Living Dictionaries. Number 50. Human noses and ears get bigger as we age. It's pretty common to see the claim that our nose and ears are the only parts of our body that keep growing as we age, but that's not exactly true. Our nose and ears stop growing along with the rest of our body, but thanks to the weight of gravity, both parts continue to lengthen over time. Interesting. Number 51. The hashtag symbol is actually called an octothorpe. The octo means 8 and refers to its points, though reports disagree on where thorpe came from. Some claim it was named after Olympian Jim Thorpe, while others argue it was just a nonsense suffix. Does it actually have 8? Yeah, it does. 8 points. Number 52. Movie trailers originally played after the movie. They trailed the feature film, hence the name. The first trailer appeared in 1912 and was for a Broadway show, not a with something of national interest, like public policy. What is that even? Where are they? Well, why do we have those? Who has them? Number 56. Theodore Roosevelt had a pet hyena. Its name was Bill, and it was a present from the Ethiopian emperor. Roosevelt was famous for his many pets, including a one-legged rooster, a badger, a pony, and a small bear. Number 57. The CIA headquarters has its own Starbucks, but baristas don't write names on the cups. Its receipts say store number 1 instead of Starbucks, and its workers need an escort to leave their work posts. Number 58. Giraffes' tongues can be 20 inches long. Their dark bluish-black color is probably to prevent sunburn. Number 59. There's only one U.S. state capital without a McDonald's. Try to guess which one it is. Montpelier, Vermont doesn't have any McDonald's. It also happens to have the smallest population of any state capital, with just 7,500 residents. I've been there. Number 60. Europeans were scared of eating tomatoes when they were first introduced. Scholars think Hernan Cortes brought the seeds in 1519 with the intent of the fruits being used ornamentally in gardens. By the 1700s, aristocrats started eating tomatoes, but they were convinced the fruits were poisonous because people would die after eating them. In reality, the acidity from the tomatoes brought out the lead in their pewter plates, and they actually died of lead poisoning. Interesting. Number 61. Humans aren't the only animals that dream. Studies have indicated rats dream about getting to food or running through mazes. Most mammals go through REM sleep, the cycle in which dreams occur, so scientists think there's a good chance they all dream. Fact number 62. The inventor of the microwave received only $2 for his discovery. Percy Spencer was working as a researcher for American Appliance Company, now Raytheon, when he noticed that a radar set using electromagnetic waves melted the candy bar in his pocket. He had the idea to make a metal box using microwaves to heat food, but the company was the one to file the patent. That was in 1945, and he received a $2 bonus, but never any royalties. That's sad. Number 63. The Eiffel Tower can grow more than 6 inches during the summer. The high temperatures make the iron expand. Number 64. Glitter may have originated on a ranch. According to local lore, a man by the name of Henry Rushman from Bernardsville, New Jersey, invented glitter by accident in 1934 while working on a cattle ranch. The New York Times reports that in the popular origin story, Rushman, a machinist, was trying to find a way to dispose of research team, 250,000 deaths in the United States are caused by medical error each year. This makes medical error the third leading cause of death in the country. That's crazy. Fact number 66. Bees can fly higher than Mount Everest. Bees can fly higher than 29,525 feet above sea level. That's higher than Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. Number 67. Ancient Egyptians used dead mice to ease toothaches. In ancient Egypt, people put a dead mouse in their mouth if they had a toothache, according to Nathan Belofsky's book, Strange Medicine, a shocking history of real medical practices through the ages. Mice were also used as a warts remedy in Elizabethan England. Number 68. Paint used to be stored in pig bladders. The bladder would be sealed with a string and then pricked to get the paint out. This option wasn't the best because it would often break open. American painter John G. Rand was the innovator who in the 19th century made paint tubes from tin and screw caps. Number 69. Humans have jumped farther than horses in the Olympics. The Olympic record for the longest human long jump is greater than the world record for longest horse long jump. Mike Powell set the record in 1991 by jumping 8.95 meters, and the horse extra dry set the record in 1900 by jumping 6.1 meters. Number 70. The Terminator script was sold for $1. James Cameron is the award-winning director of movies like Titanic and Avatar. In order to get his big break with the Terminator, he sold the script for $1 and a promise that he'd direct it. Number 71. Pigeon poop is the property of the British Crown. In the 18th century, pigeon poop was used to make gunpowder, so King George I confirmed the droppings to be the property of the crown. Number 72. Onions were found in the eyes of an Egyptian mummy. Pharaoh Ramses IV of ancient Egypt had his eyes replaced with small onions when he was mummified. The rings and layers of onions were worshipped because people thought they represented eternal life. This aligns with the reason for mummification, to allow the pharaoh to live forever. Well, number 73. Beethoven never knew how to multiply or divide. The renowned pianist went to a Latin school called Tirocinium, where he was taught some math but never learned multiplication or division, only addition. Once, when he needed to multiply 62 by 50, he wrote 62 down a line 50 times and added it all up. Number 74. Japan released sushi-inspired Kit Kats. For a limited time in 2017, Tokyo's Kit Kat Chocolatory shop made 3 sushi was raspberry. The seaweed-wrapped one tasted like pumpkin pudding. And the sea urchin sushi was the flavor of Hokkaido melon with mascarpone cheese. All were made with puffed rice, white chocolate, and a bit of wasabi. Number 75. An espresso maker was sent into space in 2015. Coffee lovers will appreciate this interesting space fact. Samantha Cristoforetti was the first astronaut to get a warm and cozy piece of home sent to her while in orbit. The Italian Space Agency worked with Italian coffee manufacturer Lavazza to get the coffee capsules into space. Number 76. The word aquarium means watering place for cattle in Latin. Of course, today's aquariums aren't for cows. The first aquarium that looks like what you'd imagine was created in 1921 and opened in 1924 in England. Fact number 77. The inventor of the tricycle personally delivered two to Queen Victoria. In 1881, Queen Victoria was on a tour on the Isle of Wight when her horse and carriage could not keep up with a woman riding a tricycle. Intrigued by the bike, the Queen proceeded to order two. She also asked that the inventor James Starley arrive with the delivery. Though you might associate tricycles with toddlers, Queen Victoria made them cool among the elite at the time. Number 78. Your brain's synapses shrink while you sleep. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Center for Sleep and Consciousness studied mice to observe what happens to their brains while they sleep. Dr. Chiara Cirelli and Dr. Giulio Tononi found an 18% decrease teams must pay umpires $5 per game. Fact number 82. The first commercial passenger flight lasted only 23 minutes. In 1914, Abram Feel paid $400, which would be $8,500 today, for a 23-minute plane ride. The Florida flight flew between St. Petersburg and Tampa, where only 21 miles of water separate the cities. As a former mayor of St. Petersburg and the pilot Tony Janis were the only passengers, this momentous flight paved the way for air travel as we know it. Number 83. The world's first novel ends mid-sentence. The Tale of Genji, written by Murasaki Shikibu in the 11th century, is considered the world's first novel. After reading 54 intricately crafted chapters, the reader is stopped abruptly mid-sentence. One translator believes the work is complete as is, but another says we're missing a few more pages of the story. Number 84. The French language Scrabble world champion doesn't speak French. New Zealand native Nigel Richards memorized the entire French Scrabble dictionary, which has 386,000 words, in 9 weeks to earn his title. He has also won the English World Scrabble Championship 3 times, the US National Championships 5 times, and the UK Open Scrabble Tournament 6 times. Wow. Number 85. A woman called the police when her ice cream didn't have enough sprinkles. The West Midlands Police in England released a recording of a woman who called 999 because there were bits on one side and none on the other. She says in the recording, she was even more upset when the ice cream truck man did not want to give her money back. Funny. Number 86. Uncle Ben's rice was airdropped to World War II troops. German chemist Erich Husenlaub invented a process of parboiling rice to keep more nutrients in the rice and lessen the cooking time. The Husenlaub process had another unexpected benefit. It stopped bug infestations. The quick cook bug-free rice was a big advantage during World War II, and converted rice was airdropped to American and British troops. After the war, the company rebranded itself and became Uncle Ben's original converted brand rice. Number 87. South American river turtles talk in their eggs. Turtles don't have vocal cords and their ears are internal, so scientists believed that turtles were deaf and didn't communicate through sounds. But research has found that turtles actually communicate at an extremely low frequency that sounds like clicks, clucks, and hoots that can only be heard through a hydrophone. These sounds even come from the egg before the turtle hatches. Pretty cool. Number 88. Penicillin was first called mold juice. In 1928, bacteriologist Alexander Fleming left a petri dish in his lab while he was on Thomas, is a great place for wine aging. Wine experts sampled the champagne and described it as sometimes cheesy with animal notes and elements of wet hair. No thanks. Number 91. Irish bars used to be closed on St. Patrick's Day. You might associate St. Patrick's Day with wearing green and drinking so much you think you actually see leprechauns. But until 1961, there were laws in Ireland that banned bars from opening on March 17th. Since the holiday falls during the period of Lent in the heavily Catholic country, the idea of binge drinking seemed a bit immoral. Number 92. Thomas Edison is the reason you love cat videos. After inventing the kinetograph in 1892, Edison was able to record and watch moving images for the first time. He filmed short clips in his studio, some of which feature famous people like Annie Oakley and Buffalo Bill. But the real stars of these early videos are the boxing cats, adorable cats he recorded in a boxing ring in 1894. Number 93. Brad Pitt suffered an ironic injury on a film set. In Troy, based on Homer's Iliad, Pitt plays the brave and buff Greek hero Achilles. Legend has it that Achilles could not be defeated unless hit in his heel. While filming an epic battle scene, Pitt ironically hurt his Achilles tendon, an injury that set back the film's production by 2 months. Number 94. Pregnancy tests date back to 1350 BC. According to a document written on ancient papyrus, Egyptian women urinated on wheat and barley seeds to determine if they were pregnant or not. If wheat grew, it predicted a female baby. If barley grew, it predicted a male baby. The woman was not pregnant if nothing grew. Experimenting with this seed theory in 1963 proved it was accurate 70% of the time. Number 95. Martin Luther King Jr. got a C in public speaking. The world remembers Dr. King as a leader of the civil rights movement, and people often quote his I Have a Dream speech, which he delivered in 1963. Yet more than a decade before that legendary speech, while attending Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, he earned a C in public speaking during his first and second term. Number 96. Bees can make colored honey. In France, there's a biogas plant that manages waste from a Mars chocolate factory where M&Ms are made. Beekeepers nearby noticed that their bees were making unnatural shades of green and blue honey. A spokesperson from the British Beekeepers Association theorized that the bees eating the sugary M&M waste caused the colored honey. That's pretty cool, actually. Number 97. Wimbledon tennis balls are kept at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature of a tennis ball affects how it bounces. At warmer temperatures, the gas molecules inside the ball expand, making the ball bounce higher. Lower temperatures cause the molecules to shrink and the ball to bounce lower. To make sure the best tennis balls are years of their life. I give my cat milk all the time, and he's totally fine. Well, wait. He does puke sometimes, but I don't know. Number 99. Albert Einstein's eyeballs are in New York City. They were given to Henry Abrams, and preserved in a safety deposit box. Abrams was Einstein's eye doctor. He received the eyeballs from Thomas Harvey, the man who performed the autopsy on Einstein, and illegally took the scientist's brain for himself. And number 100. The Pope can't be an organ donor. Pope Benedict XVI was issued an organ donor card in 1970. Once he ascended to the papacy in 2005, the card was invalid, reports the Telegraph. According to the Vatican, the Pope's entire body must be buried intact because his body belongs to the Universal Catholic Church. Pretty cool. That's it. I've heard that before, but I didn't know it was because, like, their body had to remain intact. I thought it was like, you can't have a Pope's organs. Like, you can't have holy organs put inside you when you're not the Pope. But yeah, that was 100 facts. He does say, P.S. Hopefully you enjoyed these facts as much as I did, and also your channel is the best. So thank you, anonymous fact provider. I really appreciated sending me these facts. It was really fun. And yeah, I hope you guys liked these. Sorry, I lost my ability to speak English there. I feel like that always happens when I'm just like reading something for hours on end. So sorry about that, but I feel like we did pretty well as far as background noise. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sleep